You got a PS2 pillow?
Hey.
I have half a gutted GameCube here. Hey, and PS1.
Hey.
All right, welcome to the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast, episode 219. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and joining me this week, once again, we have Chase.
Hello.
And Steven.
Sup.
Sup. Oh, so today it's pretty much going to be mostly a Nintendo episode. We're talking just all kinds of Nintendo things, a little bit of other news sprinkled in there. He's wearing a Mario shirt. I'm wearing a Pokemon joke that's Star Trek related, and Chase has things in his room.
He's wearing green. That's Pokemon.
So we'll go ahead and jump into what we've been doing so we can get on to our news and our discussions here. And we'll start off with you, Chase, this week. What you been doing, man?
So I've still been playing Total War Shogun 2. Really enjoying it. And then the other thing I did was yesterday, Shano and I went to go see the Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, that's right. How was it?
It's a movie.
Okay, judging by the history of Mortal Kombat, with the first one being great, everything else afterwards being terrible to questionable, how's it rank?
Somewhere between. It's not as good as the first one. It's better than Annihilation. Not a high bar.
Everything's better than Annihilation.
It's fine. I just it's a bit hard to talk about until everybody's seen it, but.
It's Mortal Kombat. I'm pretty sure we're not getting that many spoilers here.
Well, it's just like there's just some really weird like decisions like through the whole thing. Like they kind of act like the people who are going to watch this movie played Mortal Kombat, so they kind of just like don't give you really any exposition at all in certain things. But then at the same time, they will just randomly like elaborate or talk about other things, and it's just like as I expected from Mortal Kombat movie, the cheese is there. If you're lactose intolerant, don't go see this movie. So much cheese. Like I'm pretty sure somebody was standing above me grating cheese like as
that's good. That's what the Street Fighter movie looks to be, and I was like, I'm all for it.
Well, yeah,
so I have to ask, how was Carl Urban?
Yeah, he was fine.
Like, how was this on a Carl Urban scale? Was he very Carl Urban, or was he not?
Was he Doom, or was he Dread?
Somewhere in between. Like, he was definitely he was definitely one of the cheesier like actors in it. But that's
he was dude.
But he's kind of. But to be fair, his character's kind of supposed to be cheesy, so like he's playing to his character. Good Kiwi boy right there, actually, New Zealander.
Good Dr. McCoy in Star Trek, honestly.
Yeah. But no, the because like
the popcorn bucket.
No, they didn't have the popcorn bucket where we went
to.
New
Zealand, get in the game.
I haven't even looked to see what the hell Mortal Kombat has for popcorn buckets. I am terrified.
They have a dragon cup that has the two people fighting on top, which is sold out everywhere. And then they have the arcade machine that you have to put on its side to eat the popcorn out of. But it's a green and black arcade machine, so don't think it's going to look arcade accurate or anything.
Gotcha.
I feel like there's a missed opportunity with Shao Kahn's helmet.
Yeah, they made one you can wear and one you can't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was the other thing too. Was like, so outside of one character, basically none of the female characters, none of them ever died or had any fatalities, which I thought was really odd. It was like only dudes that got absolutely destroyed through the whole thing.
Interesting.
And like at one point, like Sonya Blade gets like literally like Shao Kahn literally just says like 4, and like she's just like, cool, I'm fine. I was just like, what? So it was just really weird. Like there's some really weird like choices through the movie, but it was fun. I thought it was entertaining. Shano thought it was horrible. At one point she looked at me and she said like, is this movie just going to be all about like people fighting each other? Like the name of the movie is called Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
And this is a sequel. There was a movie ahead of this one. You should
Why don't
probably
you
should have
spoil for her what Street Fighter is going to be about too?
Yeah, well, I think she's already said she's like, I'm not going to that one. I said, okay, that's
Oh,
fine.
that sucks.
I know that one's going to be terrible, and I don't fucking care. I want to go see it. Street Fighter probably should be weird and corny. Like,
I'm
that's
seeing that
where
one
it
on a
thrives.
Tuesday.
You're gonna see it on Tuesday.
For me, that was a Tuesday.
I have to.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's a good.
That's actually fair.
I want to go see it on a Tuesday now. Yeah.
Overall, I think it's good. If you like Mortal Kombat, you'll get entertained by it for a little bit.
Yeah, well, like you're talking a little bit about it, it sounds like they pulled the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, saying like, if you like the lore, we're gonna give it to you, but if you want explanations for everything, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
and I kind of wonder if people are kind of forgetting this is the sequel to another film that came out a few years ago. So maybe a lot of the exposition they're expecting you to have already watched that one.
Yeah, and the second one's supposed to fix what they hated about the first one. Like, there wasn't an actual tournament, and there was a character that nobody's ever heard of that had nothing to do with anything, and everybody hated. So it was just like, okay.
I'm curious as to which character everybody hated was.
I can't remember his name. He didn't exist anywhere else.
Just watch the first movie and look for the character that you've never seen in a Mortal Kombat, and that's the one everybody hated.
Okay.
Because he's kind of like the MacGuffin or the plot device. It's like, get out of here.
Okay. Well, yeah, there was a guy in this one that I'd never heard of either in like any of the games, and so I'm wondering if that's maybe him.
I think he carried over, so yeah.
Oh yeah. Surprisingly, I don't think this is a spoiler, but a very surprising lack of ninjas, which was disappointing for me.
Really?
Until like right towards the very end, like third act. There's
it's because you got them all of the first movie, though.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
The guy from the last Mortal Kombat that showed up out of nowhere, his character was named Cole Young, played by Louis Tan.
There you go.
He was the guy that was just like, we're here to be the eyes and ears of the audience, and I've never seen this magical world of violence and bloodshed.
Oh yeah, I didn't see him at all through the entire movie. So
yeah, it was like that human kid they had in the Darkstalkers cartoon in the States. Like,
that's fantastic. Even he couldn't survive to the second film.
Apparently not.
That's great.
Yeah, like if you like Mortal Kombat, you're probably gonna enjoy this movie enough. But there was definitely some, like I'll like I said, I'll talk about it more in depth once everybody sees it, because I just don't want to accidentally spoil something.
I think in the end, it's guaranteed this will end up in Steven and I's collection, just because we like getting the video game movies.
I already pre-ordered the Steelbook from Walmart.
I'll tell you what, though, the Aussie bloke that got to play Kano is fucking hilarious. Like, he's definitely that's the other thing too. A surprising amount of just like name dropping of other IPs through the whole movie.
Really?
So many. Like, at one point, like, I won't tell you the jokes because I don't want to spoil them, but like, even like the Kano specifically, he like at one point he like tells the other character that he looks like somebody from another IP.
Are the other IPs Warner Brothers related? Because they've kind of loved to point out their own things to reference.
Well, so like, I think they are Warner Brothers ones, but like at one point, Carl Urban makes a Lord of the Rings reference. At one point, Kano
that might just be because he was in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about the MacGuffin, and he was like, and stuff like that. He was trying to like figure something out, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, the one ring to rule them all, the one ring to find them, the one ring to go fuck yourself." Like, it was just like this really weird. And so then he like made a Lord of the Rings reference, and somebody else made like there's a couple Harry Potter references in the thing. There was like, it was just like this really weird thing where they just started. Oh, and then at one point there was a John Wick reference. I was just
yeah, so this is the Warner Brothers circle jerk references.
It must be like, because I was just
I really hope we get John Wick in the next Mortal Kombat now.
It was just really weird. Like,
you start the match and they shoot your dog.
His fatality is he kills you with a pencil. A fucking pencil. I still remember that scene.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, Steven, what you been up to?
I've been playing mobile games.
Shocking.
Yeah. One I'm almost done with. The other one, I thought I had to only get to level 200. I have to get to level 300. And I just got to level 100. And what they don't tell you is after you get to level 100, they play an ad after every single level now. So every time I beat a level, I have to watch an ad. And I was just like, why would you do that? And then they're like, pay $8 and we won't do that. And I was like,
because it's a mobile game and you did this to
and then I'm like,
yourself.
go die. This is the first game that has offered to get rid of ads for money. And I was like, get away from me. I'm beating you the normal way without spending money on you. I hate you.
Is it
Creating
right?
a problem,
Am I right
no.
in saying this one that this is the 36th mobile game that you played?
No, this is like the 8th or 9th.
Oh, because when you said like mobile game like extravaganza 36, I was like,
That's just the joke. That's just that's
okay.
just the joke. I have been playing ZZZ. Yeah, they had a new update. I haven't gone in yet because I know I'm gonna have to spend money as soon as I install the new update. So I played it. I played it last weekend, and I played a little bit before the update, and then I was like, I better stop because as soon as it updates, more money will be spent. So I'll log in there at some point. Been doing my dailies in Tomodachi Life.
Nice.
I got Chris and RoboCop living together. They're known as House Apocalypse. Their favorite thing to talk about is killing humans, and their favorite subject is Judgment Day. I finally got married to my wife. It took some time.
I speedrun. Me and Amanda were married within like a day. Like I speedrun that shit. Forced them together for everything.
Well, in the beginning, my wife didn't get me, and I had to cure her. I had to cure her hiccups before she got a crush on me. So I was like, okay, then. So I've been doing that, and they finally gave me the restaurant, the pawn shop, and then another new area, which they said will keep changing with depending on what. It's a market that changes items depending on what time of day you open their blind bags. So I was like, oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's the there's one in the morning and one in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I have that one. So you haven't gotten the Ferris wheel yet.
No, I know that. I know all that other stuff eventually comes. It's just taking it day by day. And
Yeah, I've been
usually
messing
night by night is when I play. So sometimes they're asleep and I have to see their weird dreams. I played the new update for Resident Evil 9, the Leon Must Die Forever.
Do you have access to that because you finished the game? Because I couldn't even see it
Correct.
on my menu.
Correct, because of what you're seeing and what you're fighting, boss wise and stuff like that. That's why you have to beat the game first.
Gotcha. I was wondering if that was the case.
Yeah, it's only available after you beat the game. I love that for 200 CP points, you can unlock more dialogue for Leon to say, but only during this mode. So I was like, cool. It's also a way that if you can get through it and get some of their challenges done, you can get the CP points to then use back in the game. But they have some weird ones that you can put like fox ears, apropos, on Leon, or you can put the licensed car on his head with 2 straps on it. Or you can have a police light siren on his head that lights up and goes back and forth.
I have gained so much more respect for them with that car right now because of that. That's great.
Like, okay, but it's really hard, and as some people are pointing out, when you're rushing through a game like this, because this is supposed to be like a roguelike, it feels weird. And then you realize, like, wow, Pragmata has better controls and can deal with the fast-paced action, while this one is not meant to be this fast because it's really hard to maneuver with Leon.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Taking everybody down.
I've noticed that disconnect going back and forth because I'm going between Pragmata and Resident Evil, and I'm like, wow, Resident Evil does feel really sluggish now.
And then lastly, I didn't know what to think of this game when I first saw the trailer, other than the music. And then I was just going through TikTok, and 3 people of 3 different generations who do like a show called Kind of Funny Games. They all were like, even though we're from different generations, we all think this is a very special game. And 2 of them gave it like a 10 out of 10. And I was just like, I need to know at least why you did that without going into the why. So I was like, you know what? It's $17.99 on Switch 2. It's another Switch 2 game I can play. I downloaded it. It's It's basically supposed to be like the soundtrack to your life, as it says, but it basically plays like you're playing an interactive Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's
Yeah.
kind of neat in that aspect, and that I'm liking because the scenes you go through are pretty cool. There is no consequences. It's got the Prince of Persia thing that if you try to die, it'll just rewind and you keep doing it until you get to the part. So some people are like, it's not a game, but it is. It's Annapurna. They do that. They tell stories with their games. But man, when the music hits, the music hits. So I was like, all right, I'll play this to the end.
I was kind of holding off on that one because I was hoping for some kind of physical release eventually, but I may just go ahead and get it and then double dip when it comes out, because especially with the amount of licensed music, a physical release will be the only way to actually kind of keep it, because after a while it's just going to have to go for that music licensing. But this one I've been excited
so far,
for.
I think it's really well done. It's kind of like Family Guy meets Ferris Bueller, because then she'll be like, look at this, and then suddenly you'll zoom in and you'll have to do another gameplay sequence because she's reminiscing.
Sounds like she's like high on something and just freaking out about stuff.
But I can see why some people are giving it a 10, because you get the goosebumps when the perfect song plays. And there's one mention in there that I was just like, if Jeremy plays this, he's going to be like, screenshot, record. So.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to part of that one. Like I said, it's only $20. That's not too bad. I might go ahead and pick it up. I don't know if I want to get it on. How's it running on the Switch too? Because I think I was going to get it originally on Xbox.
I think other than maybe the resolution being slightly lower sometimes, still runs 60 for me, so I'm liking it.
Audio quality is still good, because that's a big one. Yeah. Uncompressed audio.
That's blasting pretty nice for me.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll have to tell me when you get to the baseball scene.
Okay. Will do. I might pick that up. I'll have to get it next weekend. I can't get it this weekend, but we'll see. All right. So as myself, I've also been playing Tamagotchi Life, living the dream, going through. I added the only other character I've added recently is I've finally added Captain Picard, or Jean-Luc, as everyone calls him. It took me forever to get the game to properly pronounce Jean-Luc. Like, I tried spelling it all kinds of weird ways and had to finally get the closest I could, but they say it, so it's close enough. Because if you put Jean, like how it's spelled, they say Jean-Luc.
And yeah, you have to click on the lips, and then you have to write out phonetics.
Right, and I was messing around with that, and it finally got it right. So I'm trying to get him and Data buddied up. They actually have their uniforms. I made those, so they're walking around in show accurate uniforms. Yeah, it's been kind of fun. So I've got them to where they do nicknames for each other. So Data calls him Captain, and Picard just calls him Mr. Data. So that's at least a start. I'll add some more characters, but it has been absolutely weird and hilarious. I got to the point of the first island expansion when I was once I added the extra character, added Picard. It expanded out the island so I can start adding more stuff and going out. I don't know how big the island gets, but if you can get 70 people, I assumed it's got to get pretty damn big, because that's a lot of folks to add to this. It's going to be a nightmare keeping up with that. Like, every play session is going to be like an hour just trying to make sure everyone's fed.
Yeah, what's your problem? What game do you want to play? Oh, you want to play the pixel game again? Oh, you want to play What's Missing? I was like, okay.
I got kind of disappointed because I've got my island up to level 31. Jeez. And feels like a very limited amount of items you can get to give to people. Like, I thought that would keep adding on to there with, like, the baseball and the guitar and stuff like that. Like, I've already finished it. It says complete. And I'm like, I was really hoping for other things. Like, just...
Well, that's because now you make your own.
I am not going to be able to make a French horn and have it used properly or anything like that. I was hoping for other things, but we'll have to see. It feels like this might eventually get more content, but I don't think they ever really did that for the last ones either.
Yeah, we live in the DLC age now, though.
True. That one was still on 3DS, but who knows? I've been working through Pragmata, as I mentioned earlier. I've been really, really enjoying that game. I think it's one of the least Switch feeling Switch games that I have. because even playing it, be it docked or on handheld, it runs so well on that damn thing. I will just lose myself in it, and I'm exploring and playing and going back to areas and finding things and talking to Diana and, messing with the robots and everything, and just really getting into the story. The last part I finished was clearing a tree and finding the girl with the cat, and kind of
I'm
going
still in New
beyond
York.
that point. Oh, okay. Sorry, I for some reason I thought you'd already gone through it. I'm not too far ahead of you. I've been just going back and finding everything because I like how it actually tells you each area how much you've got left. But I can see myself. I think I'm gonna end up finishing this before I finish Resident Evil. I wanted to finish Resident Evil, but damn it, Pragmata is just so much more cheerful and fun. And with the way the world is, I
It's
want
just
a
that
happy
Resident Evil,
game.
they're getting ready to. They said when they developed the game, they cut an entire chapter, so everybody's guessing that chapter is going to get added in for their DLC they're talking about. So I was just like, I need to make sure I'm done with the game because I can't be spoiled.
Yeah. I don't know where the story's going yet, but I'm just don't you hurt this little girl. just let us go. Let us be give us a happy ending for once. Amanda and I finished Daredevil Born Again season 2, which wrapped up really nicely. They stuck with a lot of the fun stuff from the comics and tied this one in a lot more with the rest of the MCU, as well as the old Netflix seasons, with the third season kind of being a big culmination of everybody coming back. And I'm looking forward to what they're going to do with that. But they've done such a good job with this. I'm going to be annoyed if Daredevil somehow does not show up in the next Spider-Man movie because there's already ties in the trailer. They need to kind of continue that. It'd be nice because he showed up in the last Spider-Man movie. So why not?
For like a second to be like, I'm a lawyer.
I'm a good lawyer. That was a fun scene though. Beyond that, my parts for my GameCube finally came in. So that's part of why I was showing this earlier. This is one of the other GameCubes I'm working on. This is a model DOL 101 unit. So it's only the single video output for audio. But the one that I repaired is a DOL 001. So that's the one with the digital out and the analog out, which I use with the actual component cables. I did the work and rebuilt the disk drive. You take this apart and all the board in here you remove. You have to desolder it. All the capacitors you replace in there, and that gets the drive working, which is going great. So this one I'll fix. But I did that. I updated and kind of sorted out the Pico Boot mod that I had on my GameCube. So now it has a 3D printed stand that the board actually goes in. So it's not just like taped, Kapton taped or sealed to the side of the thing. So that's a lot better. Shortened the wires, cleaned it up, updated the MemCard Pro, updated all of Swiss and everything with it. So now I have a GameCube that the disk drive works perfectly. I can play the Game Boy player without needing the actual discs, so it scales and runs properly. All of my games that I own are backed up onto the SD card in the system that I can boot up and access whenever I want. I have the network adapter connected into it, so that can connect for games that have either had internet restored to them or can be used for LAN parties and things like Mario Kart and so forth. I now have a mobile application on my phone that can access all of my MemCard Pro memory cards. So my GameCube, my PS2, PS1, and I think my Dreamcast is getting the update as well. So one interface, I can access them, swap saves back and forth between different parts or whatever card I'm playing, which makes it a lot easier to deal with. And it ended up making us late recording the show tonight because I was like, oh, this works now. Let me poke around. Oh, let's play a little bit of Crazy Taxi and go through the whole loop of that. Or hey, Star Fox, let's mess with the whole thing of Star Fox Assault. And then I realized what time it was and went, oh shit.
We don't mention Star Fox Assault because Nintendo didn't.
Yeah, that was very weird because that is a fun one. But yeah, I've got the GameCube working. All that stuff is fixed. So now the only systems I have left to do anything to get permanently mounted and be done is my Wii and my original Xbox. I just have to do the video cable for both of those and run the sensor bar. and I'll be done. I'll have every one of my systems hooked up permanently in there so I can just sit down and actually enjoy them again, which will be nice. Steven and I guested recently with sharing with Shellshock, doing the collecting and preserving gaming last week, along with Nostalgia Alchemist, or I refer to him as Other Jeremy. And yeah, he kept calling me Zeph. So I was like, hey, it's Zen. He's like, oh.
Remember that, Chase? He's Zeph now.
No, I'm Zen. Don't you dare.
He's Zenspath Entertainment Network.
No. You speak like you solder. But I had a lot of fun with that. It seemed like we went for like 3.5 hours, but I didn't feel like it. Like the four of us were talking and we were really into the conversation. And I think it's one of the better, at least for me, I think it's one of the better shows I've done with him and his guests in a while, because all of us were engaged and excited and talking and had something to say about it. So I didn't, what were your thoughts on that one? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was good.
I need to send Jeremy some more of the stuff, because he was asking about the Pico boot and everything as well. So he might send me his GameCube to work on. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up for me. So let's go ahead and jump over to the group chat. All right. So I don't actually really have any pickups for this week. So Steven, it's all on you. Do you have anything you've gotten this week other than your pillows you showed off? Where did those come from?
A band Presto. I got it off Amazon. It took a while to ship, but now I have a PS1 and a PS2.
I have to ask, on the back of the PS1, which model is it? Does it show the ports? PS1, not PS2.
Oh, it's an OG.
Okay, has the RCA. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about.
So they go ham on it, so it's nice.
So that one is original Game Shark compatible pillow.
The only other thing I got, which I have over there, is went on sale for only $20, and that was MLB The Show 26 for Switch. So now I have a PlayStation game for every system that's hooked up right now. Because I bought MLB 24 when they had the Ken Griffey Jr. mode for PlayStation. I bought 25 when it was like $7 for Xbox, and then I bought 26 when it was 20. And they also had a demo. Not a demo. You could play the full game last weekend or so. It was one of their NSO stuff, and it was actually really good for most. Judging by just Switch 1 graphics, I can't wait until they can release one for Switch 2, so it can just have parity. But the worst part of it is I saw retro mode, and I was like, "What's this?"
Oh no!
And you can turn on 8-bit mode, which just makes everything look like it's on mosaics. It's so dumb.
Yeah, the silly super pixelated that doesn't work.
And the two worst things they did about that mode is they take out the announcers that would normally announce baseball, and they just have Ken Griffey Jr. saying, like, let's play some baseball. I'm like, why? And then whenever you hit the ball, it makes that really annoying sound from the NES days where it's like, boo. I'm like, I don't need to hear that. You can't turn it off. It has to do it every time you hit the ball.
That's probably the most accurate 8-bit mode part of it, sadly.
But I was just like, you know what? It's fine. I now have a portable baseball game that I can do home run derby or just fool around with, and it was only $20.
That's not bad.
So I was like, I'll take it.
All right. And actually, I did get one thing that came in. I ordered, Amanda and I picked up Over the Garden Wall on Blu-ray. I've seen little bits and pieces of it, but we never actually sat down and watch it. So this is for us to actually enjoy, along with the ungodly other amount of movies and things that we bought last week during our trip. So, Chase, you got anything for pickups this week?
Nah, not really. Not this week.
Gotcha. And the last thing for group chat, a little bit of our discussion continuing for Ready or Not, which is just
so fun.
What? Yeah, Chase, I know you play this one the most. What's some other stuff that we've done that you've enjoyed? Because there's been mayhem. No one shot each other this week. That was a plus.
Yeah, nobody shot each other. That was actually really good. Team coordination is slightly better.
I got reprimanded.
Yeah, Swan.
Because nobody called out that they were looking in the door.
Oh yeah, and then
Wait,
So
was that when you shot me?
so I blew it open, and then I died suddenly, and then everybody was like, "Well, I was looking in." I was like, "Nobody called out that they were looking under the door."
I thought
That
it
was hilarious.
showed that I was actually doing it.
It just shows you pointing your gun at the door. So I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
what he's doing, but I'm going to open this up.
Really? Okay, I thought it actually showed me get the little camera thing out and go down.
No,
and
if
look.
it did, I wouldn't have interrupted you. But I
Oh,
just
that
saw,
makes
like,
so
everybody
much more sense now.
It
And I was like,
literally
"Are you guys just waiting for the shotgun man to come?"
Oh,
You're like, "What are you doing?" And I was just like, "I don't know what you guys are doing."
whenever you use the Opti wand or the in this game, it's literally just you standing in front of the door like this. That's all.
Oh, I was like, are y'all just not paying attention? Okay,
But
I get it now.
a lot of civilians died this time, though. None of us died, like from each other.
I still feel terrible about the one where Shinoa just like walked in front of me and I just shot her in the head. It's like I didn't even mean to.
I watched that one.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. That was bad.
That was Shades of Demio. That was great.
Yeah, it was.
Still wasn't as much
It's
of a
like
team
payback.
kill as Steven blowing the first door open and it blowing up and killing 3 of us like immediately
That was
as
great.
we started the level. He's
Yeah.
just yelling, I didn't know that one would explode.
This one was interesting because we had the nightclub, and then all of a sudden, like people had like bomb vests. So many of us died to bomb vests.
I had a suicide bomber just drop down the stairs on me. I'm just standing there going like, yeah, everything's pretty much clear. Boom.
Yeah, that was new, having to like not dispose of those people, but diffuse those. And they were like, "Help me!" And then sometimes
they run
they're
away,
like,
and
"Don't
it's
help
like,
me!" Boom.
Yeah,
Like,
do you want us to help you or not?
Oh yeah, that one lady, she started like running from us, and I started chasing her down. I was just like, "Get back here, crazy ass!"
You have a
There were
bomb.
bombs strapped to you. We're trying to save your life.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love that game though. It's so many funny moments.
And we still have more stages to do tonight, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got. This is, I think, the most consistent we've played a game in a little while, other than Demio, the second Demio.
Yeah, we've still got quite a few stages because of all the DLC stages. Well, we're not even done with the base game content right now.
Yeah, we still haven't unlocked all the weapons. We still got more stuff we're working on. It's still, there's a lot of bugs that we're finding, but
Yeah,
even then, like, I think this has kind of officially replaced Rainbow Six Vegas for us. Like, this is our go-to for it as a modern take.
it's basically
Like, I love Vegas and Vegas too, but fuck, this is
basically
everything.
terrorist hunt the game with like objectives. That's all it is terrorist hunt with objectives.
And it's kind of more of a fun challenge because now there's more civilians or any civilians at all actually involved.
And we've had a few people feign death and get back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've seen some people act like they're hostages and then turn around and find out they're not. Just, it's a lot sneakier and more realistic with what they're doing while also being fucking over the top and stupid.
I think a few times I was point blank with a guy and the guy would be like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Still can't get over that shotgun though. Like if you shoot somebody in the face with a shotgun, they just
there is
don't
no
have a
face. There's just a cavity right here, just embedded.
Yeah, call Nicolas Cage because we just had a face off.
And you still hear him gurgling and trying to yell, and you're just like, "Oh my god!"
And you're like, "Shut up!
Just hurry up and die for your own good."
And then get a demerit for unauthorized use of force.
That was great. I think some dude had like put his hands up or something like that. And Swan just come through the door. I was like, oh, I think he was surrendering.
He had a gun.
At least I haven't had any. Oops, I'm out of flashbangs, and I just threw an actual grenade into a public area incident.
Oh, I throw those all the time.
There's one level that we kept playing. It's the apartment buildings where we walk in on the bottom floor. You have the center staircase that goes up and around to that second level that we were having trouble with the first time.
Oh yeah,
there's one
tricky.
It's fun once we started playing it more, but there's one area that I guess we can't crawl or like go through small entrances, but there's like a little hatch at the bottom of a wall in this room that leads to the other room, but you have to go out and all the way around to get into there. But I just tried it. You can just throw a flashbang right under the door, and you just see this flash, and you hear people screaming, "I can't see!" I'm just like, I'm over here. I can't do anything. Like, I'm halfway tempted to just throw an actual grenade and see if I just kill everybody in there.
Yeah, throw a stinger.
Yeah. Oh, man. And there apparently is non-lethal for this one. I don't think we've tried it yet, but...
Yeah, because like, you can have I think you can equip like a non-lethal shotgun, like a beanbag shotgun.
Yeah.
No. Maybe if we're going into like, I don't know, like a daycare center, but otherwise.
Mind you, they're not real people, so I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
That would be terrible. But yeah,
I just love handcuffing them when they're dead too.
Yeah. Just in case they're like faking it.
And it still counts towards your achievements for like zip tying people.
Yeah, I still get points. I'm gonna zip tie dead people. I don't care.
Right? For some reason, like I noticed when we first started playing, you could run out of zip ties sometimes, but then you would somehow get more. And I never got like a refresh or reload or picked up an item. But then now, like I just keep zip tying people and it doesn't stop. And it's like, I don't know if that was a weird thing with the counter or that was another bug.
I think it's a bug because I've never ran out of zip ties.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, because you guys have even told me before, like, hey, can someone come over here and zip tie this guy?
Yeah.
It won't let me. So we've all had that same issue. It's just really inconsistent, which leans towards a bug.
Yeah, I've noticed too, the one thing that I get caught up on, sometimes I can't tell when I'm leaning, because you could stay leaning even when you're not like aiming.
Like, why am I running so slow?
That was funny as hell. Like I had both my legs were jacked up. And I'm just like, I'm going so slow, I can't keep up. Jeremy, are you sure you're not leaning? No, I'm not. God damn it.
I think I might actually shut that off because I really don't use leaning.
Can you turn that off? Because that might be smarter for me.
I'm just going to put it on a random key that I'm not going to use.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when I get caught up like leaning or whatever, and then the other thing is too is like when you're leaning, you can't interact with anything either. So sometimes like you can't zip tie people or stuff, and then I'm like, oh,
well, I think that's what I was coming across was I was like, I have zip ties, but how come I can't use them? And then you came up and did it no problem, and I was like,
So maybe that's what it is. I didn't even realize about that. So I'm thinking it's a bug, and I might have just been leaning and not realizing it.
Because when you're leaning, you can't actually interact with anything, which I think is so. It's kind of one of those things where I wish, like, if you go out of ADS, like if you're not holding the trigger to aim down the sight, it would just take you out of leaning. But
yeah,
it's basically like I can open the door. What is this?
Yeah.
My world is tilted. I can't understand anything.
I should have had a V8.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a highly trained expert. I can't open the door. Oh man, this game has been great. So we'll continue to play it until all of us can afford to finally pick up the what was it, Toxic Commando or something.
Yeah. Or a game that we'll mention later in the speedrun.
That's true. I think another title we were looking at, I got an email saying it's on sale on Steam, so I was going to take a look at it. I don't remember which one it was, but I know it's one we talked about.
Well,
but
is it Pizza Bandit, maybe?
Yes, that's the one, Pizza Bandit, which I still do not understand. I guess one person stays back and makes pizzas while the others are shooting people. I don't know.
You need to make the money to get pizza ingredients.
Fuck, that's weird. That's so weird. All right, let's jump over to our news story for this week. Surprise, everybody! We got a Star Fox Direct with, I kid you not, a 10-minute warning for a 15-minute for a 15-minute Direct with no previous announcement. And people that talked with Nintendo, at least some of their sources for it, pretty much said this was dropped like this to screw with the people that were leaking their stuff. So they were just like, surprise, here you go. But yeah, we're getting a new, air quote, new Star Fox for Switch 2, which is admittedly a direct remake of Star Fox 64 from the Nintendo 64.
For the fourth time.
For the second time.
Fourth.
Those are not remakes. They can reinterpret the story, but they're not the same game. Like they may have a Corneria level, but the rest of the games are different. Zero is not a remake.
Star Fox Zero is a remake.
Star Fox Zero is not a remake. You get one Corneria level that's similar, and then the rest of the game is different. Like it's got vehicles you didn't have, entire scenarios that weren't there. That's like saying every Star Wars movie is just a remake because they all have lightsabers. Like,
that is true. What if they're all remakes?
they're not. But we're getting this June 25th, $49.99 digitally and $59.99 physically. So they're sticking with the $10 difference, which is good. With a lot of places actually dropping the price of the physical to $49.99 to match it. So if you get it from like Walmart and places, they're doing that.
Yeah, Walmart's exclusively doing it, and then Amazon's just following suit because they're Amazon. But yeah.
But you're lucky if they actually get it to you in a reasonable amount of time if you get it from Amazon. You might get it by July. Who knows?
Walmart, sometimes you get it a day early.
That's true. The game is fully voiced now with extensive in-between mission briefs and story sections, including a new prequel about James McLeod before he was lost during the original campaign, which I'm wondering if we might see a playable level with that.
I really hope that was that. As much as they showed of that, I hope there's something you can unlock that you can just play through it. Like, we know how it ends, but
right,
it'd be cool to play through it and see how many of those ships you can knock down.
It'd be a fun challenge mode,
Like
just
a challenge mode, yeah.
like a survival mode, yeah.
Which brings us into our next.
There is a new challenge mode that's available that you can revisit each level quickly to try different challenges depending on the difficulty for medals, which is nice because there's a lot of levels like you might work your way through and finally get to once while playing the older titles. You die, have to restart, and you got to fight your way to get back there to try it again. So you never really messed with the later levels of certain ones that often. Now you can go back and just kind of work on them however you want, which is nice for me. And you can make it more difficult to change what medals you're going for with different little hidden things inside the levels, which is great. They added some new optional control schemes. So you can play it in first person, which you could do prior, but now you can use mouse aiming, which I want to know how you can steer, but the mouse aiming is actually kind of fun. Almost makes it like a light gun game.
It reminds me of if you ever go to Galloping Ghost or you find it in another arcade.
Uh-huh.
There's a game called Lucky and Wild. It's the best game ever because I even played it with my wife. Is one person gets to drive the car and the other one just uses the light gun to shoot everything around. You're just two cops chasing down perps, and I was just like, I love this arcade game, and there's nothing like it.
That is actually a fun one. I do like the fact, kind of what you're talking about. One person can use the left Joy-Con sideways to pilot, while giving the right Joy-Con to someone else to use as the mouse for targeting. And that one looks like it's playing in a third person, so that way you can fly properly and they can shoot. And then for fun, they also ended up adding in the N64 controls, so you can get the Nintendo Switch Online N64 controller and play this as God intended, for it to be its original controls as it was.
Holding the sides of the controller.
Yo, holding the middle and the right side, you
Ew.
freaking monster. You can't even use the left side when you're playing Star Fox. What is wrong with you?
This thumb goes on the analog. This goes with the buttons. Hold it, and you're good.
I will go get that thing right now and show you how wrong you are.
I will go get mine and show you how wrong you are.
It's like this. You hold it like this.
When we do our controllers episode, you're going to learn.
How do you hit the Z button with your hand all like this? Your poor wife. Oh,
I wouldn't
man.
say poor wife.
Well, that's true. That was in jest. I'm not being mean. I mean, you play control N64 like a fucking monster. You're not as bad as my friend Remy, who plays Super Nintendo with the controller upside down. Every time he does that, I look at him like it is some kind of just congenital birth issue. I don't know what's wrong with him for that one.
Have you seen the Tetris Grandmasters who play it sideways while tapping it?
Yes, at least there's a reason for that.
Yeah, and there's a reason you hold the N64 controller like that, because it's the correct way.
Oh my goodness.
I'd agree with you, but then we'd
great.
both be wrong.
For those watching the show, this is not for you. Or as I would hold it.
True.
He's going gangster on us now.
Oh, beautiful.
Kill shot.
I still love the fact we can argue about this shit and no one's yelling at each other. It's just funny and we move on. I mean, I'm right, but
They made those other controllers that got rid of the necessary things because they were like, I guess some people want to just hold it like a rutabaga.
Let me ask, like, so they basically, when they made the nunchuck for the Wii, they just took that connection off. Do you hold it like this, like at the side?
That one you have no choice. It's a nub, so you just hold it.
That's like riding a bike and you hold the metal pole.
You don't hold a giant
instead of the handlebar
controller like I'm gonna grip its genitals. No, you grip its arms and legs.
If that's where the stick and buttons is, you grip it by that. Genitals or not.
I'm gonna grab its legs and fondle its genitals.
You're completely ignoring the genitals at that point.
I'm giving it the reach around even. I got full motion.
Chase is just like, I don't fucking believe I'm here.
He's like, I like Donkey Kong 64.
I do like Donkey Kong 64.
It is a fun game. Too many collectibles, but fun game. Oh, man.
So many.
All right, so let's get into what most people have been arguing about. And I'm kind of curious about this, but the game has actually done a complete redesign of all the characters to be more lifelike for a lot of it, which some people feel is kind of based on the original puppets that they used for the Super Nintendo advertisements and box art.
Which have since been destroyed.
Sadly, yes. Weren't those like made by the Muppets people?
No, those were the Nintendo Direct ones. Those are still around.
Okay, good.
The ones used for the box art, the creator talked about it online, and he said, yeah, we used it by gluing a lot of stuff to just rubber, so over time they got really bad, so we had to destroy them.
Yeah, hope they got good photos of it.
And they couldn't make, and he said the reason they couldn't use that other than the commercial in the box art, he's like, we didn't want people to think that's how the graphics looked. So he couldn't use the puppets anymore, and now he's getting to see it fully realized, which makes him happy.
There you go. But anyways, they're designed now to look more like the animals they're based on. So Fox has got more of an animalistic fox shape, down to the fact he has stubbier arms and legs that goes down to actual paws, which is kind of a fun little addition. Slippy looks more wet over all of his skin. Falco, I think, is the biggest change because other than the fact of his feathers being more prominent and more bird-like, his legs are actual bird legs, like with the backwards knees and everything, which reminds me of like a Rito from The Legend of Zelda, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which makes sense. If he's supposed to be based on a bird, that's how their legs would be. And, you know, they're not the same species, so of course they're going to be different. But what I really like is the fact that Slippy, without anyone saying a word, has switched from his red hat that he has had since the Super Nintendo to a blue hat because of reasons that are likely tied, you know, to visuals politically now. So yeah, they ditched his red hat. What do you guys think of the new art style?
I can see why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll go over why they did it. But he's a little fat.
Who, Fox?
All of them. Like, they're just like
Yeah.
puffier now. And I was just like, you know,
Peppy and...
there was a few weird things to do. One of them was to show the movie, spoilers for everyone who hasn't seen it, but show the movie where he's in it, and everybody like loved that art style, and he even talks about how cool his boots are. And then you get to this new Star Fox who doesn't really have boots at all. He has got like some space sandals, so you can see his weird feet, and then you're just like, all right.
I think that was more of a case of you've got the artists over at that studio working on it versus the developers, we don't know who's developing this yet, that are working on the game. And if they're going for that different art style, they probably wanted to differentiate it if they were even aware of it at the time.
I would have edited the video clip then to not mention the boots, because that was just weird saying like, and we get these cool boots. Well, not this one.
I mean, they can change shoes. You never know. They might have the boots at one point, or it might be for whatever else. Because even when they showed up in the Mario Galaxy movie, they changed art style like 3 times, like showing different parts of it for how they were drawn and how they looked as he told different stories. So I think that was kind of their way of playing around with, we don't have a consistent art style. It changes like every game. You know, we look different between the Super Nintendo, the N64, the GameCube, Smash Brothers.
I'm still liking it though, because a lot of the cutscenes gave me Mass Effect vibes. So
it just looked really good. A lot of work with the lighting and everything. The ship designs I really like because they've added so many little details. And now, beyond just little color changes, each ship is customized. Like I like that on Falco's ship, when the wings go out, there are painted blue wings on parts of the wing. Like that's a nice touch. And then you see, James McLeod's ship, and you've got like a big adult paw print and then a little paw print, which is like little Star Fox probably put it on the ship. And you're just like, oh, that's adorable. So,
and then at 15 minutes and 41 seconds, if you pause the direct and look at Slippy Hair's ship, it's the ISBN number for the Star Fox Strategy Guide.
Someone else pointed that out, and I thought that was a great little joke where it says for further information, to read here, and actually had it. So along with the R-Wings return, we are also seeing new versions of the Landmaster tank and the Blue Marine submarine. Once again, these were features in the N64 game, so they're coming back. I'm actually, I think, the most excited for the mouse controls for the damn tank level. Because if I can just drive the tank with the left stick and use the mouse to aim, I think that level would go so much better than trying to fight with the stick while trying to steer. Because that's the one thing I hated about that tank beforehand. So I'm hopeful that kind of fixes that for me. The Blue Marine was fine. It was a slower level. I think it'll look better with the new lighting and more detail, just to be kind of an exploration thing. But you only used it for what? Potentially 2 levels, I think, if even that in the first game.
People don't even remember the submarine level. That's how.
Somebody did ask me if they added that, and I was like, no, that's always been there.
How rough, I guess, that was for people. They forgot
you had to do pretty well to get to it. Like you had to have a good streak of levels in order to even access that, like a bonus. But yeah, like the actual graphical detail of the game, I think, took a huge leap over the old ones, because we had, the N64 original, which looked great for its time, the 3DS remake, which took that up the textures, smoothed out the frame rate, added a lot of little features, but was pretty much just an HD without being HD version of it. And then now we're getting the full, I would almost say like MGS3 level, where they're going in and remaking the game based on its original while making it visually look as good as they can. And I'm hoping maybe they've added a few things in there, but we don't know. We did get confirmation that the game is running at 60 FPS during gameplay, but can drop down to 30 for the cutscenes, which, they're going to be able to use more visual effects and different features, depth of field, stuff like that. So the frame rate doesn't matter. You're not playing it anyways at that point. So this is the funnier, weird part that I was like,
VTuber mode is more.
VTuber mode is exactly what I was thinking. So you can now use for game chat a puppet version that is mapped to you, and it follows your facial expressions, your eye movement, mouth movement, head turns, all that, of a different member of Star Fox team. And I was like, that is the most out of left field thing of them going, please use our chat function. We'll let you be a furry.
The furry shall inherit the earth.
And I love the fact that you can be talking to people in other games and you will still show up like that, which is fantastic. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to show up playing Star Fox just to talk to other people as a fox. I guarantee it. That is going to be a whole new thing.
The people who turn off their camera and they're still in their costume, like, I'm still a furry.
I mean, that's kind of a midway for that. It lets people not show up on the camera, but then use the function in a certain way. It's almost like the modern version of the old Xbox voice changer. You guys remember that from the original Xbox?
Or to be like that Teams call where the guy's like, I swear I'm not a cat.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was a court case. That was terrible. So I wanted to ask you guys, do you think we will see this added for other games? Like, and if so, what characters would you want to be seen as with this? Like, what would be kind of your funny little, I want to be shown up as this? So, Steven, we'll start with you.
Well, for people who bought the introductory to Switch 2 welcome tour, there was one where you got to basically voice and do everything puppeteering to an emoji looking yellow ball.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talked, he would talk and move his mouth like yours too. So this was already like being tested to see if people were using that or liked it.
They should have let people use that for game chat too. That would have been funny. Just as like you get to that point.
But I see it in so many other games that I think having the Switch 2 kind of give you an enhanced version of, like if Repo ever came to Switch 2, that's one where when you guys are walking around and talking, you guys talk in more like a Commodore 64 voice, but it knows when you're like looking around or opening your mouth. So it's stuff like that I really like. Things that start, the fact that the Switch is picking up on that means it can get some games that on PC had to deal with eye movement and stuff like that. So that does open up possibilities for more gameplay variations, which I really like when they can try stuff like that without needing new hardware or anything.
Nice. So any character you'd want to show up as or have be usable for this outside of Star Fox?
I would like more if it was modulator, like if I could talk like the Commodore 64 voices or that spyware Bonzi Buddy. I would love that on Switch too. But Repo comes to mind first because that was one where I would always see their mouths move when they were talking, walking around. And other games try to do it where their mouths moves when you talk, but this one's trying to do it 1-to-1, which is, I was like, this is cool. I can deal with this.
It was pretty impressive, like when they showed his face moving versus what the Fox.
even the blinks, I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's tracking a lot more than I thought. Chase, what about you? You think this is going to show up more? And if it does, what would you want it to be?
I don't know that it will. I think part of the reason why they did it with Star Fox was because obviously, like, you had the, like the little cockpit cams anyway. So I think they just thought, oh, this will be like a really cool, like, kind of thing we can do.
It's not their olive branch for the furry community.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. I could see potentially maybe doing something like that for like. I could see them maybe doing something like that in the future for like Mario Kart or something. I could see that maybe potentially being there, but I don't necessarily know that it would. I'm trying to think of another game that it would fit necessarily like that. Like one doesn't come to mind right away.
Did it with Mario Kart World, where you'd just like the arcade machine, you could see your photo or your picture live above your character. So,
yeah.
So I think we'll see this probably showing up more as Nintendo expands some of the functions. It's kind of it's an interesting bonus if it's tied into particular games. It makes me wonder if they do this, will they have like a little storefront where you can purchase some of them? Where you can get certain features to use it playing other games without actually having to have that game be the one you're playing, if that makes sense.
Because like for me, it was less about it being just a Switch camera, and now it means like, there's more functionality the system can do if other, say, even indie developers decide to use it. That's why I mentioned Repo, because I was like, somebody can be like, oh, I didn't know the Switch 2 camera could, or cameras plugged into it, could do tracking like that. I'll put that in my game, like type of stuff. So.
Yeah. Because I can see pretty quickly somebody, streaming to set up and already have the function of the two, at least two people talking or whatever, to record and stream that out, have their overlay over it, but then have, people do all these rigging and everything for a VTuber setup. Now they could kind of do it quick and dirty with this. It's not the same quality as some of those, but it could be some fun way for people to do their streams. I would love one if they did like a Resident Evil one, just so I could be a zombie. Which reminds me of Zombie from the Wii U, where you could actually use the camera for that.
That they didn't really take advantage of in Switch 1 except for 1-2 Switch.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been embracing, at least with the Pro Controller, is the HD Rumble. When I play, this isn't spoiling anything for you, but when I play Resident Evil 9, whenever Leon has had to wade through water, I can kind of feel how the rumble is making me like feel like I'm pushing through water, like my legs are going through water. And then when you play something like the the like Pragmata, you can just like feel when he's hitting something or using something, because you can kind of feel like the little tension, almost like a laser rumble.
I still feel a lot of that even playing portably, because I do notice that.
And then another one they did recently was Mixtape. When you are riding in a grocery cart, the rumble is spaced out enough that it makes you feel like you're in a rickety grocery cart. And I was just like, this is great.
Nice. Yeah, I have noticed more of a use of that, and I'm glad to see it. Most importantly, I'm glad to see it more in third-party games.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo has always been pretty good about HD Rumble. You know, all of their games have got little details and touches that you notice while playing it. It's gotten better with HD Rumble 2, but now it seems more supported, which I think is also the case because PlayStation 5 has a similar control setup with theirs that I think works on basically the same function, where you're using sound waves or waveform from sound to make the rumble, so they can just kind of make the audio file, and it's adaptable between systems now.
Yeah, even Ready or Not was using it greatly with my Stadia controller, because it was rumbling with the music, but only when we got close enough to feel the bass.
Right.
If we ran away from the dance room, the rumbling went away slowly, but I could still feel a little bit of it if I knew we were near the dance floor. And I was like, I can't believe this game is doing this like hidden feature on the nightclub level.
I'm trying to remember, does the Stadia have a different rumble than like an Xbox controller, or is it the same? Because I'm pretty sure I was feeling it just on the Xbox with the triggers.
For me, stuff. It was just it wasn't like HD rumble or adaptive triggers or anything like that, but it was just the fact that it went with the beat.
Yeah.
And it went on both sides, and it could go really weak, so it could tell you how far you were from the dance club.
Well,
I was just like, usually because like Switch 1, you'd play anything and you would just hear your controllers like whine because they're always on max rumble on this game or that game, and it seems now that it's taking a good approach to it. So I was like, I'm looking forward to how it's going to feel on a Pro controller too.
Well, we could try a PS5 controller with Ready or Not, but Shinoa has already proven to us that is a very bad idea, because it was terribly laggy and having
That's why
issues.
They're literally making a PS5 for PC controller.
As they stop making PC games. It's the most Sony-ass announcement.
And the recent update to Resident Evil 9 added PS5 controller capabilities for PC.
Really? Oh, I might have to download that and try it out. All right, last little question for this I wanted to ask you guys. Do we feel there will be more additions to the game, like bonus levels, more ships, characters, etc., that were not shown here as a surprise to returning fans? Or do you think this is going to stick to an already impressive graphical and controls update and basically act as like a reintroduction to new fans of the original? Steven?
So originally this game was something you could kind of get through in like 2 hours, like a full run, like each stage taking like 10-15 minutes. And I think they already gave you some nice padding with both the cutscenes and the challenge modes.
Mm-hmm.
I think there'll be unlockables in terms of like the hopefully like that little prologue with James.
Right.
And I hope that's playable in some like challenge mode aspect at least. I think in terms of like characters and ships, I think they'll leave that to how popular the dogfight mode is, the 4v4.
Yeah, I hope for extra content, specifically for ships. I would love to see the models from like the N64 or Super Nintendo or something show up as like a bonus, like a little thing you can unlock, or maybe you can get. It'd be funny as hell to be able to get the whole face mapping tech, but have it just be the N64 one. So when you talk, its head is just like. That'd be great. I also hope for the video that they showed to be a playable level, because that would be, even if it's nothing else, it'd be a fun 2-player, because it's him and Peppy at least. That'd be a great 2-player,
or even because
co-op level.
Says like, say, you leave and I'll stay here, even if it's just like kind of like almost the credits to Smash Brothers, like how many can you shoot down type of thing. I'd be fine with that even. So.
Oh, that'd be a fun opening credits. Like you watch it and then you're trying to fight through the credits, and you can only last as long as it goes, and then you just have to die.
Over a certain amount, you get that challenge mode unlocked.
Right. Like there's fun things they could do with this. Chase, what
I'm
about
just
you?
glad they're not doing a Kirby Air Riders amiibo type thing where it was like person, like they did with the that other game Starlink. I'm glad they didn't do that because I was like, I can't afford that.
All the Starlink stuff.
Luckily, they were just like, "Hey, do you have the old Smash amiibos? They work."
For sure. Chase, what about you?
I don't have any faith in them actually doing anything extra for this because,
okay,
yeah,
is this the game you said you had thoughts on?
Yeah.
Get this. Let's hear them thoughts. Let's do it.
Can we just
thought it out?
Fucking game?
No.
Like, why do we get the same fucking
because
game?
We did get a new game and no one bought it.
Because it sucked
10 years ago. It was not bad.
The control scheme was it's what got Miyamoto fired and became a creative fellow. It's the reason we don't have an F-Zero is because he couldn't figure out a weird way to use the Wii U gamepad. No, I accelerate B brakes. That's it, Miyamoto. I don't need to like make a pizza on my Wii U gamepad in order to do a spin. Yeah. I was just like, stop trying to make something intuitive when we just want another one.
Yeah, I'm getting really, really, really tired of us just getting the same freaking game. Like, this series deserves more.
Star Fox Zero broke into my house, and Star Fox Guard stood on my bed. And I was just like, this is not value.
I actually had fun with Guard. That was a nice little challenge.
Yeah. This is the part that frustrates me with this game, with this series. It's F-Zero thing too.
So far, one of the best Star Fox campaigns people have liked is Starlink.
Yeah. But like, it's just one of these things where it's like, because I didn't even mind Star Fox Assault. At least you tried something different. Like, but like,
doesn't exist.
No, they did mention it. They mentioned it at the beginning of the direct for like 10 seconds, and then like they fucked off. But it was just like, at least like you like traveled somewhere, you got out of the ship, like it was something different. Like I know people didn't like that he got out of the ship. It was like I actually thought it was fine, but like it's just I'm just getting tired of us just remakes. Like stop, give us a new game.
I mean, wasn't it the Total War game you were playing was also a remake, and then before that we had MGS3. That I think that's like the third time that one's been remade.
I don't mind remakes. But my problem is, Jeremy, is that we're not getting new games.
It's not the fourth time. Just because they look similar does not mean it's the same game. Zero is not a remake. I don't get why they're saying that. It's like Star Wars games. If two of them have the Hoth in the beginning, that doesn't make them remakes of each other. It just means they both had Hoth.
I think Nintendo called it a remake, so I think that's why.
No, this one is. We know that.
No, but I'm talking about Star Fox Zero. I think they actually called that a remake as well.
I don't remember them calling it. It was supposed to be like a reboot of the series.
Oh, maybe
that's a storyline and stuff.
Maybe it's a reboot / remake. I don't know. It's like people throw those names out there like it's candy. It's like, but like my problem is that like I don't mind if you give me a remake of something, but give me new games as well. Don't just.
Here. Let me give you the explanation people are using, okay?
Oh, this should be fun.
Okay.
There are two, and I'll go into some bullet points for you guys. There are two direct remakes of Star Fox 64, along with the 2026 remake and the 2016 reimagining. Here are the versions based on Star Fox 64. Star Fox 64 3D, a direct faithful remake with updated graphics and gyro controls. Star Fox Zero, a reimagining or reboot that retells the same story with new gameplay mechanics. Star Fox 2026 for Switch 2, a new remake scheduled for release this June. Some fans will also argue for number 4 that Star Fox 64 is itself a remake of the original Star Fox.
Which I thought it was, so...
It's not, but yeah, they have different levels, the story changes, there's different parts to it, because that was supposed to lead to Star Fox 2, which we did eventually get, but only in the mini and then on the NSO.
If they wanted to appease fans, they would add in the characters at least to the multiplayer from Star Fox 2, so we can see them.
That would be fun. And like, I would love a new level that had the Walker, because I liked the Walker. I thought that was well done, both in 2 and in 0. It was fun to use that.
It's going to happen with some people when there's a reboot or a change of a character. And one that was pointed out to a lot of people was Kat, because Kat in the original was very like Southern and flirty, and then this one's like punk rock, and she's got like like makeup.
She looks like a slightly rabid animal.
She looked angry, and I was like, she went from like a fluffy cat to like this like I've seen shit. And I was like,
so
like a coke addict or something. Like,
so I think the point I'm trying to make is like I get it, like Star Fox 64, Star Fox 64 3D, and those three are based on the same game, 100%. I get that. I think the other ones you're talking about, they're titles in a series that are thematically the same, that you're going to have different ones that you enjoy, but they're not necessarily the same thing, but they share the DNA of it. That's like saying every Smash Brothers is the same one because they're characters fighting each other. Like there's so many similarities between different ones, even though the ones that look the most the same, like Wii U and Smash 4, are very different for how they're not remakes of each other directly.
For me, it's the same thing as all the Batman movies and all the Spider-Man movies. We can see Uncle Ben only so many times, and we can see Batman's parents.
I get that, and I agree. Yes.
So it's just like, stop remaking that. We don't want that story anymore.
My other argument, I think, with this, and this is how I feel what's being done with this game, and Chase, maybe you'll understand this view of it. I think this is a test bed for how the new developers are working with the new engine. It's easier to remake a classic that is the highest selling by a huge margin of the entire Star Fox series, to make it in time to ride the wave of the very popular addition to the movie. And I think they're doing like they did with Metroid 2 when that got remade by Mercury Steam. And everyone's like, why are you remaking this? We want a new Metroid, which then led to Metroid Dread. We did get a new Metroid, but they had to work on that one first to get their feet wet, figure it out, and then expand on it. I don't know if that's the case, but my hope is whoever's making this is them getting their feet wet, working on something they know, and, introducing the new graphics and things like that. And then hopefully they can make something fucking new. Steven, go ahead.
I heard the best explanation, and of all places, a Target.
Okay.
Made perfect sense. And it was the fact that since there is no, except for Smash Brothers, there is no Star Fox game out there currently on shelves, that when they showed him off, there was this new generation of kids that says, who is that? I have no idea. Saw just a quick telling of how he came from another galaxy. And as intrigued as they got, kids had no idea. So in a way, unfortunately for some people like us, it's kind of like the live action Disney movies that came out. It's for reintroducing the characters to a new generation. So it's showing them off again. And
yeah,
just
but this looks good.
And to at least change things around. Because Lion King, the live action remake, like blew the original out of the water in terms of like sales, and sort of Lilo and Stitch, the remake. So even though that's got the worst ending, but that's,
I'm about to say that completely bastardized the entire story, but we're not going to get into that.
But other than that, it's just like reintroducing it to a new generation of kids who had no idea who Star Fox was. Mm-hmm. And I think if they had to pick one of the Star Fox games, this was the best one to do so, because it covers James McCloud, it covers all the characters, and it's the one that people still remember the most fondly. While like Star Fox Adventures is just Dinosaur Planet asset swap, we know that for a fact as older people. And
it's
Assault was very arcadey, and yeah, that was it of the Star Fox. And we don't talk about Zero, but anyway,
Star Fox Command was really good, but that was a DS one that was very reliant on particular functions that aren't there anymore.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like a reintroduction. So I think this is a good way to do so, and especially having the co-op mode. Mm-hmm. So if the kid likes to fly or kid likes to shoot, the parent can be like, oh, let me fly the ship, or let me shoot these guys down while you fly around. So it's kind of like easing them into it, and I think this is the best way to do it, because kids aren't going to appreciate the graphics that they look like back then. We would, of course.
I mean, they can play it now. That's the thing. Like, it's on NSO, but I've seen a lot of kids nowadays that they'll see N64 graphics, and the three of us will go back and play that game and have the time of our lives, because we know how good that game is, and we expect.
And they'll be like, "This looks worse than Roblox," and they won't play.
Right, and I think it kind of needed that. The hitch is to get beyond just that point, I think, to make of what Chase is wanting. This needs to be a stepping off to either a new take on the series. Maybe this will introduce new story bits that continues on, or just a whole new game afterwards within a certain amount of time. Because
they've done that in the past, Chase. If you look at other titles, the only one they kind of didn't do the best with was Metroid Prime Remastered, because they gave you Metroid Prime and then they're like, the new one's coming. Now I think they're giving us this Star Fox game because a new one's coming. A lot of these games we find out, especially even Tomodachi Life, like, it's been ready. It's just been simmering, and they're just like, when should we release this? Like, so they've got like games in the chamber, it seems like sometimes, but they need to see, like, should we, put a pin on it and see how this does first? Because, Star Fox Zero did not even reach 1 million copies, but neither did the Wii U sales after a while. So,
it topped out at 13 million. Like, the Switch 2's already past it. So
yeah, so like, now
I love my Wii U, but I know that thing was
so now we got the
trash
first, like,
sales wise.
After Donkey Kong, we got one of the first party, like, big dormant IPs from Nintendo that is only on Switch 2, because they were like, all this stuff we're doing can only be done on Switch 2. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get to that where it kind of expands it out for more of the titles as we go. So, and the funny thing is with Metroid Prime Remastered, that one, they had already announced Prime 4 years before it, then surprised us with the remaster, and then still made us wait a couple of years to get Prime 4 out the door. That was a whole mess.
However, Chase, how awesome would Star Fox 99 be?
And how about this and that part, Chase? Like, it's not a full price game. So if you get it digitally, I know for US cost, I don't know what it is for you, probably hundreds more, but it's only $50.
Probably.
It's $50 digital, 60 if you get physical. But we're also getting at least a couple maps with a few different modes for online multiplayer. And I think the three of us on Switch 2s would have fun just sitting there talking shit on camera while dogfighting with each other and getting multiple people on there. Because now it's a 4v4 you can go up to for some of those. And they hinted at other modes. Like, one of them looked like you would hold certain areas and dogfight everybody out of it to be a king of the hill.
And you can create, your own rooms. So you can, create private rooms to just have 2v2 and all this other stuff. So, like, that's great.
So I think they're trying to add some stuff to it and appeal to that for those of us that have played this game a lot. Which is fine. I mean, I get a new Pac-Man and I still play it. And Pac-Man, you can go through an entire round of Pac-Man way faster than you can an entire round of Star Fox. But I still have fun with it. It's just what it is.
But you can't play as Ms. Pac-Man anymore.
No, that's a whole legal kerfuffle.
It's Pac-Mom.
No. We're saying this right before Mother's Day, and I'm still saying no.
Sorry, mothers. No Pac-Man.
But with that in mind, Chase, does that give you any more hope, or are you still just kind of like, fuck this, I don't want it?
It'd
be fair. I mean,
I'm happy that it's getting a game, and I will buy this game. It's more the fact that as somebody who's had to sit through and listen to like Miyamoto and them sitting there like, oh, we don't know what to do with these series. Like, it really just pisses me off that they keep, like, when you hear that and then they just like, oh, we're just going to remake the same game again. It's just like, come on, guys. Like, there's people out there that want a new Star Fox
trying
game.
Again, because people aren't showing up and buying these. The sales for Star Fox games has not been spectacular since N64. Like, that was the biggest one that sold. Everything else has been way, way lower after that. So it gets to a point where it sells so little, they just put it into hibernation. And they're giving it another shot, going like, hey, we're going to give it a go. Here's the most popular one. We're going to remake it. Do we get those sales numbers to warrant us trying again with something new? And I've seen people like, oh, that's not the argument. If we just don't buy this, they'll learn their lesson and they'll make something new. And it's like, if we don't buy this, they're going to be like, oh, cool, this doesn't make money. F0 this bitch. Just shove it away and never talk about it again.
Speaking of that, and Chase and I both know, especially since he's like kind of a free agent out there, that if they're like, hey, we're bringing back, what's his name, Toshihiro Nagoshi to work on the next F-Zero, people will lose their shit. Because he made F-Zero GX.
And then I think another thing that might give you some hope, Chase, is they did announce there will be a Star Fox movie, I think.
Well, that's
so, and with a movie being in development over that time period, they might be more willing to get a game out around that time as well.
I'm thinking that's what that unannounced Illumination project is for Nintendo in 2027.
I think it would be, because people did latch on to Fox pretty well. And that was like a really quick, like, I'm giving you the promotional to, here's the movie we could make. And then we get a little after credit and we move on. And I'm like, that's basically the shortest pilot in a series I've ever seen. So that's my hope that I'm trying to stick to, just to be happy in this shitty world of something.
No, fair enough.
I understand your frustration. Please don't think I don't. I get it.
Yeah.
Because even I laughed when they were like, it's a remake of N64. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because Star Fox and F-Zero are two of my favorite like Nintendo IPs. It's so that when Nintendo's just like, yeah, they're just gonna sit over here in the closet on the shelf, it's just like, oh. And when Miyamoto was like, we don't know what to do with F-Zero, like, make a game, make a racing game.
I wonder, and I'm not saying they're this petty, but I wonder if Miyamoto and some of the other developers got really butthurt when the F-Zero, their baby, their creation, was fucking trounced and just completely obliterated respect-wise by Sega, of all people. Because F-Zero GX is like the perfect F-Zero game.
Japanese culture can be petty as fuck, so that could very well be it. But then again, the problem was they gave it to the Yakuza guy. That dude's just good. He's built different.
He also made Super Monkey Ball,
which I was playing earlier, and I was like, I'll try this out, and like a whole set of levels later, going, I should play something else for a bit.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Because even at their their fiscal year stuff, and they said one of the things we want to do is they showed a picture of all their IPs, and they're like, we want to strengthen these characters. They had the old picture of Star Fox, but they had no picture of Captain Falcon, and I was just like, oh, that hurts.
That's the funny thing. Like the Star Fox logo they're showing off for the game and on their shirts and stuff is not Star Fox 64. It's the original Super Nintendo Star Fox logo. So they're actually going back to that logo. So you're getting two remakes now. You're getting the game for 64 and the logo.
Star Fox. Right. 4 remakes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. No, I mean, game looks great though graphically, so I'm excited for it in that regard.
Yeah, I'm hoping this lights a fire into their ass to give us something new, gets more people interested in the series, because it's one I would like to play. And yes, the games do feel somewhat repetitive because it is an arcade, basically rail shooter, is how it's always been. That is the way the mechanic is, and people need to kind of understand that. So maybe this is the way to walk them back into those mechanics before they try and expand it out more.
Yeah, take note, Forever Entertainment. This is how you remake a rail shooter. Don't do what you did to Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah. All right, let's go to our next little bit real quick. All right, so speaking of Nintendo stuff, we have the Switch 2 price increase as well as their financial updates. We're just kind of combining them. So we've finally gotten the Switch 2 has to actually go up in price. It's going to go from $449.99 to $499.99 in the US. This is a $50 increase. Canada is going from $629.99 to $679.99. Once again, another $50 increase. And then Europe is going from £469.99 to $499.99. It's only a 30-pound raise, but with all the stuff, it's about the same. So people are flipping out and upset by it. And I think on the flip side, Nintendo has what?
I sent this to Chase because he said, and I quote, Jesus shit.
It's going up $170.
New Zealand will go from $7.99 to $969.95.
We told you to get this thing already, Chase. It's on you now,
September
man.
1st, so I said, fuck, motherfucker.
Yeah, you need to take your next paycheck and go get this damn thing while you still can.
No kidding.
Like, look, you know Fire Emblem's coming. Don't wait for it. You will probably pay more for that shit, too. Yeah. Just get it now.
Sounds like oh my god.
join us. Like, if you have a Switch, you have Nintendo Switch Online, it'll automatically switch over. You can play some games with us. We can talk.
Yeah, come on, man. You haven't even paid for it in like 6 years. So it's like, yes, Nintendo Switch Online, use it.
Oh, that's right. Steven pays for yours. I pay for an entire group of 8 myself, so I know how that goes. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one now. I did talk to Show about it. I was like, the price is going up. I think we need to just get one before September 1st.
Especially with the bundles, because as we found out before the show, like, you guys are getting the Pocopia bundle, which is just for your area. I was very wrong about that until Steven straightened me out on that. Because I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure that's coming out everywhere. No.
Nope, it's region exclusive. I was like, dang.
Just, New Zealand and Australia, I think just that part of the hemisphere. It's like, that's very specific.
I wonder if that's because, I mean, obviously Nintendo's got to have some data on this stuff, but Pokemon over here started to get I think it's starting to get really popular because there's some of my coworkers the other day were just talking about how they're going out and buying Pokemon cards out of the blue, which I haven't heard people talk about that in years.
As long as they're not just doing it just to scalp.
I'm about to say, that's just people getting into scalping. That's
they're
terrible.
They buy them to collect them. They're buying them to collect them and stuff.
Then good for them. That's what we need more of.
I fully support that. They're good people.
Right. If you're having fun with it and making a collection and so forth, great. If you're scalping it, fuck you.
If you're the people in some states, not mine, thankfully, that have ripped apart the Pokemon Target displays to sell the displays on eBay, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
I just wonder if it's I wonder if there's a correlation that an Aussie and New Zealand that Pokemon's just getting more popular, so they're like, oh, Pocopia would be a really good bundle here or something.
I mean, you said they know the numbers, so that would make sense. I mean, because they're including a digital game, so it's not the worst thing they have to do is print a box that shows it. And even with that, they don't have to. For half of the release for Mario Kart World during the launch, the ones that came with a digital code, they just put a sticker on the box. It wasn't even a print of a new box. They just slapped a sticker on it and you got a code. Because that's what I ended up getting. I thought I was going to get one that came with the cartridge, which there were versions that did. So, or no, I'm sorry. It was the code in the box or it was already digital in the system. That's what it was. So I ended up thankfully I got a card, sold it to a friend of mine and bought the physical copy for the cost. So yeah, that'll be from there. They also mentioned some of their hardware sales reference numbers just to kind of show, because the sales of the system themselves are doing well, but Nintendo sells the system pretty close to cost. So as everything goes up, it's eating into that. And Nintendo does not sell hardware without getting some kind of profit from it. That's how their business model has always been. That's why their sales for games don't have to always be these huge giant amounts to be successful, because the consoles are already covered for their part. But just a few highlights. Mario Kart World, we got 14.7 million sold, which makes sense because most of the bundles, I think, during launch were pretty much Mario Kart bundles because it was dumb not to get. Donkey Kong Bonanza is doing a healthy 4.5 million. Pokemon ZA is almost at 4 million. And then the last two, Kirby Air Riders, we're at 1.87 million, which is a pretty good number for a Kirby racing game. And Pocopia, which I wanted to know about, hit 4 million. And then the last one that I gave a damn about was Hyrule Warriors, because I absolutely loved that game. And Chase, I still think you should give it a shot when you get your Switch too. Yeah, I know they're not normally your type, but I really enjoyed it. That had 1 million. So it could do more, but it did okay. Metroid Prime 4 didn't even make the list because it's kind of a weird victim of half of it sold on the Switch, half of it sold on the Switch 2, and they did not combine the numbers. They didn't pull a Game Boy and Game Boy Color and put their sales numbers together. They kept them apart. So each one, I think together probably broke 1 million, but it just happened to be split.
I just like the 3 different answers. Well, not 3 different, but Sony and Xbox are like, our prices are going up. It's not our fault. It's the world.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it. The end. Nintendo's just like, our prices are going up. It's because of RAM and the marketing conditions. Deal with it. Except we feel we have to give you more value now. So we will at least present a robust game lineup to make it worth your while. And I was like, at least you're telling us you'll try harder because you have to charge more.
I mean, that's a respectable way to do it. And the fact that Sony and Microsoft, when they raised the price on theirs, it was like immediate, like within days. And with this one, they're like, hey, we have to raise the price. It's going to be September 1st. You have a couple of months to get your stuff together and pick up the system before it goes up. And some people are wondering if they're like, that's as far out as we can make systems on the chips and parts we've already purchased before we have to start buying new ones at this higher cost. And they're just kind of they've been eating part of the cost for a little while. And I think it's gotten to the point like their investors are demanding the system went up, which it did, but only $50. It could have, I think the others went up over like 100 or more a few times.
Yeah, because like it's with this time around, we're just getting more day and date titles like Resident Evil 9, Pragmata, and it's unfortunate to see something like Take-Two where they're like, oh, it's not our biggest platform to work on right now is Switch 2, so they're not even saying any updates for Borderlands 4.
I mean, we're getting the only physical complete Indiana Jones next week on Switch 2
with mouse controls.
Yeah, I've got that one pre-ordered. I can't wait to be able to play that on the go easier.
And then the other one that's disappointing to me is it's like I can't get Lego Batman Dark Knight or Legacy of the Dark Knight day and date with the other ones on Switch 2. So I was just like, it doesn't have a release date on Switch 2 right now, at least not on the retailer. So I was like, I'll probably get the Xbox version.
The Lego Batman?
Yeah, if you look for Switch 2, it says coming out this December. It just has a placeholder date, while the other systems, it's like 2 weeks. Like, okay.
At GameStop, I pre-ordered it for Switch 2, and they were like, yeah, it comes out in like 2 weeks. That's
I really hope it does.
Shipping list.
Because if you try to order from Amazon or Best Buy, they're like, yeah, we'll see you in December. And I'm like, damn it.
I got to go by there tomorrow. I will get a printout of my stuff and we'll verify that, because I was under the impression it was there. Otherwise, I'll pick up a physical copy on Xbox.
I know even you were like debating, like, because you really wanted to play it, and with that newest trailer they dropped, I was just like, I'm super sold, especially with that music you guys put in.
I am stupidly excited for this. I'm going to apologize to the two of you right now. I'm going to be an insufferable asshole for as much as I'm like, hey, I found this, and this isn't here, that's this, and this is tied to that.
Comes out, we're doing an extra quarter on Lego Batman.
Dude, I can do an extra quarter on the history of Batman and all the stuff for it. I will talk about the Lego games.
But yeah,
I absolutely love Batman.
As of right now, I'm going to get it on Xbox because I was like, one, I want the deluxe edition because there's an extra story mode where you get to play as Harley Quinn and Joker.
Oh, okay. Because they did tell me there was two versions, but they wouldn't tell me what the deluxe was. So
the deluxe edition, as well as some costumes. The biggest thing it has is the extra story mission where you play as the Joker and Harley Quinn escaping Arkham Asylum. And I was just like, I want that.
Okay. I will fix that tomorrow either way.
And I was, because I saw like the, the graphic they put up of this is what you get in the deluxe. And I was just like, that's a major thing. And then the other one is like the Smash Brothers type mode where you get to play as all the characters fighting each other, the Mayhem mode.
There's just a lot of stuff coming out. Because Chase, remember you and I have got Forza Horizon 6 next week also.
Yeah, the 19th, May 19th.
Yeah, we get it 4 days early if we're getting the big version, which I am at least.
So
I think you get
15th.
I think if you get the digital Batman, you get it 5 days early or something like that.
If I can get it physical, I'd rather for that one just because I can add it to my Batman collection. But
I just wanted a game like that. Like, I was like, Switch 2 would be just right. And I was like, it's not coming till who knows now. So I was like,
I mean, speaking of Lego Batman, I've got his suit and a little Bruce Wayne that stands with it. Like, I found this at Target for like $5. It's such a nice little set where it even came with a little transparent head for the bat suit. So it looks like it's on display. So yeah, I like these little Lego sets they've been doing in like paper sleeves. So it's like you just rip it open and make it. They're fun little $5 sets. Anyways, back to the Nintendo stuff we were talking about. So Switch 2 software, or the hardware, sold 19.86 million units, which the Switch 1 hit over 15 million units in its first year. So it's already outsold the Switch 1 in its first year. So everybody that keeps trying to argue and say the Switch 2 is failing and there's not any games on it, it's already breaking the records on that. Like, it's ridiculous. They had a software total of 48.71 million units, which is a shit ton of games to sell. And because of they dropped their forecast a little bit because of the raising of the price. They've admitted they think sales will slow down a bit because of it. they're forecasting 6.5 million Switch 2s and over 60 million software for next year. So they think less systems, but probably just as many games or more because of that.
This year they said it was going to be, or this past fiscal year they said 19, and then they put it down to 16, and then they hit 19. So I think they're on a good thing.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough for the financial stuff for this one. We'll move on to our next little bit of news. All right, last little bit here. Once again, Nintendo related. Takashi Tezuka is retiring from his role as executive officer at Nintendo as of June 26th after well over 40 years being at Nintendo. He'll be stepping down from his role, but there's no word if he will actually be retiring from Nintendo or moving to a more of an advisory role, kind of like how Miyamoto did when he became a creative fellow, oversees things, gets to make and play around in amusement parks and make movies and whatever else. What a way to retire. Just like, I'm going to go make movies and make an amusement park. Bye. But Tezuka, he may not be as well known as Miyamoto for a lot of stuff, but he's been tied to a lot of my favorite Nintendo classics. In his work at Nintendo, he's helped with development over some of Nintendo's best titles during the NES, Famicom era, SNES, Game Boy, N64 generations before moving on to his managerial role. So during active development, he helped produce and work on Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, both versions, 3, Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Mario World, where he even designed the early first weird, very lizard-looking Yoshi before they redrew him and gave him the big nose. The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, which is hands down my favorite 2D Zelda of all time, Super Mario 64, and more. And then when he moved on to be managerial role, he helped usher in titles from like a producer standpoint with like Animal Crossing, Yoshi's Story, Pikmin 1 and 2, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart Double Dash, and just a bunch more. So he's been involved in pretty much everything, a lot of the Nintendo stuff, if you've played it. So I wanted to ask you guys, given his history, his storied history with Nintendo, what are your favorite titles he helped to bring to life in a range of work through the decades? Like, what kind of games did you really like that he helped with? Steven?
Probably the Zelda stuff, like, because he directed and wrote for the original Legend of Zelda, and then he directed the Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. So, you know, as well as like Anoma making the rest of the world, like he kind of put into place some of, thankfully he didn't touch Zelda 2. So I was like, in terms of directing it, so he probably said like, yeah, I'll just put my name on it or something. But, but no, he made a lot of good stuff, and I'll have to give it to him for at least the co-creating Yoshi part. If he had a downside, it's because he helped make Yoshi's Island. No, but everything else is good.
Fair enough. Chase, what about you?
Probably the Mario stuff for me. Super Mario World and Super Mario 64 were two games that I played a ton in my younger years. So I would say that those two are probably the ones that stick out to me the most.
Okay. For me, I have to go with the Super Nintendo and Game Boy generations for Zelda, because Link to the Past it still is a game I can go back and play, and it's just like exploring Hyrule and going between the light and the dark world and just how the story unfolds. And then Link's Awakening, as I just said a minute ago, is my favorite 2D Zelda. Just the way it's made, the tight story on the island, the twist at the end as you kind of build up and find out what's going on. It's one of those first games that was like a very bittersweet ending that I had to kind of get used to as a kid. And that's another one, like when it got remade for the Switch, I really enjoyed. So just kind of glad to see that one continuing. But yeah, we got to face the fact that a lot of the people that made the games that we've enjoyed growing up have either passed on or are retiring and moving on from making things, or hopefully getting to, in a few cases, continue on. But at least they're trying to train a new generation of people making games so we can see where they go with it, and we see new IPs and new stuff.
That's how we got Splatoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's how we got Splatoon, and a few other different series that they're working on. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that one because Tezuka isn't as well known as a lot of the other ones, but definitely deserves the recognition for a lot of that work. And I didn't know he had a nickname of 1010. I didn't know that until I was writing the notes earlier today. So I thought that was kind of funny. All right, let's jump over to the speed run. So, Steven, why don't you go start us off on this one? Because I think you added this about Atari. I wanted to get your details.
Well, some of these are just funny because of just how they came out. Atari put out a press release saying, like, hey, we got the rights to Wizardry, specifically Wizardry 1 through 5, and some spin-offs. And then the original creators, Dreecom, was just like, no, you don't. And that's just how it ended. We don't know past that about any rights. There's no arguing right now. Dreecom just like, no, you don't. And then that's all we know.
This is like the This is like the Commodore thing. It's like, we got the rights, we can make a system. And the other guy's like, no, we own it. No, you don't. It's just like, what the fuck?
I was like when the Crypto Bros bought the Dune book, and they're like, we own the rights to Dune. No, you bought the book.
Yeah, you have an expensive single copy. You don't own the rights to it.
You bought a first edition. That's all you got.
Yeah, it's a fancy book. It is not the rights. When Sony bought Bungie, they didn't get Halo, even though they thought they did for a bit.
This had been pre-planned, but Star Fox kind of stole the day. But there was also Stranger Than Heaven that RGG Studios was showing off, and I'm all for it just because it's their way of saying, like, we still want you to play our games, but we can't keep just giving you a Yakuza game because those are very much entwined with all these previous ones, and we need something to be a standalone title again. And I think this is the way to go.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Where they just basically, especially since they made a separate video for just the cast alone, as they got all these like stars coming out of the woodwork, even Snoop Dogg and his son.
Snoop Dogg threw me when I saw that. I was like, wait, what?
And his son, because you see another Brodus in there, and I'm like, even his son's in it.
There you go.
But I think it's going to have a lot of the stuff that we're used to in Yakuza, but now we're not like, where's Kiryu? We're just like, okay, we're playing in a time period where we're kind of almost like Mafia, getting to see how times change and stuff like that. And I think they're being able to play with a new fighting system as well. So something that wouldn't work very well with Yakuza is just like, oh, we're going to do this version of it now where there's everything's a little bit more not so more Mafia based and Yakuza based, obviously Yakuza, and just more based around like just family instead.
Yeah.
Like actual family, not clans.
I was really intrigued by the actual story of how it's following these two people through decades of their lives, building up, moving to this country from different places, getting set up, trying to take over, and how they grow, and then other people moving in. It's an intriguing idea for the story to take place over that generational gap, as well as Yakuza is fun, but it has a very silly side to it. Lots of jokes, and it's gotten goofy. One of the things I was introduced to was like a scene where you're punching a tiger, for God's sakes, like just punch a tiger. And I was like, this is not a serious game. This feels like it's going to be much more story driven. Go ahead, Chase.
It's definitely, Yakuza is definitely an over the top, like 3D brawler,
which is great,
which is fun.
Yeah. But this feels like it's more of like, we're playing through a good novel that covers generations of these two people going through, as they get older, and how that's going to affect it. And,
because it's the reason they needed to make all these Kiwamis. Is just like, oh, we forgot all our old games are on PS4, and not everybody can now find these in stores. And this is like RGG saying like, hey, please play our Yakuza engine type games. Here's one that's a standalone title. You don't need to have played any other of our games. And if you like what we have a new Virtual Fighter coming up.
It's kind of funny that some of those Kiwamis and stuff were brought, bringing back the old games to reintroduce it to new people, which is kind of hopefully what Star Fox is doing. But we hope.
Everything is Star Fox.
Everything is Star Fox today. It's Nintendo for everything. Except for our next little bit. Aliens Fireteam Elite 2 was announced, coming summer 2026 for PC, PS5, Series X and S. I've been pretty much told we're getting this, so I'm just going to go ahead and just order it. We'll just decide where we're going to get it. It almost feels like it should be a PC purchase, but I kind of just want to get it on my Series X. We'll see. And then lastly, Bandai Namco and PlayStation announced generative AI partnership amidst admittance of lower PS5 sales mostly due to memory availability. So Sony has just decided that they're wanting to go deeper into the AI thing, which is what's causing us to have more expensive systems. You idiots. Like, you're teaming up with that which is killing you.
It's like how it started, how's it going? And like,
I'm not surprised. Sony and Namco, I'm not even surprised. I'm disappointed.
Like, it was just funny that they were like, yeah, we admit we're going to sell less PS5s due to memory availability and stuff like that. And they're like, but we have an AI partnership. And I was like, that's what's causing it. You idiots. I was happy that they're hitting 93 million. They hit 93 million consoles sold. And then they were like, oh, by the way, Bungie lost us $768 million.
Bungie,
I was like, well, at least they're not making a Halo Battle Royale, so at least we're good. So.
Bungie did not work out from them. Like, we make fun of Microsoft with how they handled Rare, but at least they still put shit out that people played and did something. And they're still here.
I did sign up for the Horizon beta, so I'm going to see how that is.
I don't know. I'm tired of AI shit. I don't want it in my consoles or my gaming or my phone or anything. I want Wikipedia and a selection of Encyclopedia Britannica. Let's go back to that, people. Learn shit the hard way.
Yeah, where's that kid to sell us those encyclopedias?
Yeah, if I'm going to have inaccurate information, it's because my book is out of publication date, not because your AI dreamed up some bullshit.
Bring back Buster Brown to sell me shoes.
Okay.
If you understood that joke, your back hurts. Okay.
Even if you don't understand that, your back might hurt. I don't know. That's just a really old joke. So with that, let's move over to the big question. All right. So with the surprise announcement of Star Fox, what dormant IP or IPs would you like to see come back? And do you prefer standalone, collection, or HD remasters for them? Steven, since you started this question off, I'll start with you.
I'm going to do one of each. And for collection, because the only other way you could ever get it was by pre-ordering the 360 remake, and that is a Splatterhouse collection. It's every time I see like that game pop up, it's always the first one. It's not all three of them.
Yeah.
Like, just give me all three. It's like Streets of Rage. Give me all three. Splatterhouse. Give me all three. It shouldn't be that hard. Why isn't all three on a Namco museum? I don't know.
And I think this would be another good example, like we talked about over on Shell Shock, where it needs to be a collection that covers all the versions, like the TurboGrafx 16 or, different ports of it.
Even if I didn't get that, I want 1, 2, 3, 360
arcade.
And you can make that one the one that's prettied up,
mm-hmm.
and then give me the graffiti one too that they made where he's all super deformed.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
For standalone, because I don't want you to touch it. I just want it to be re-released standalone title, and then a Snatcher.
Shocking.
Don't touch it. Just be like you can play it. And quality of life is you can save any time by pressing a button instead of having to ask Metal Gear.
I'm surprised you wouldn't want a collection that had all the versions, though.
They don't really connect to each other.
Yeah, but you could play them, like pick which one and mess with it, or maybe have multiple saves.
If it just had a museum that kind of filled in the blanks of the story.
That'd be cool.
And maybe had the English translation of the podcast they did. But
I think it needs a documentary so bad. Like, I would love to sit down and
listen to the last one, because as great as the game is, it's just looks rough, and I'd love to see it not AI remastered, but properly HD remastered. And that's Burning Rangers from Sega Saturn.
That's an interesting one. I've been trying to figure that one out and play it. I don't have the physical copy because how much that thing costs. Of course you do. You have Snatcher. I'm not even surprised at this point.
I had to have Burning Rangers. My wife loves that game.
Oh, okay. I didn't have a reason. I was very late to the Saturn thing, so I have.
Had to get. I'm looking at it right now. I had to get that one, and I had to get Magic Knight Ray Earth.
Nice. I got a couple Saturn games. My holy grail for that is still looking for the Resident Evil, which is going to cost me so much money.
But if you ever get the stuff running if you want to emulate it, Chase, Dragon Force is a game from Sega Saturn that is right up your alley if you like your Total War games.
Yeah, 100%. You would get a kick out of
100
it.
versus 100 battles, and it's not Dynasty Warriors. It's strategy.
Really showing off what it can do with sprites. It's fun to watch.
Yeah,
I love keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, it's a good one. So
I hold this in the same regard as when I told you to get Gungrave.
There you go.
That was one of the best recommendations you ever gave me. That game was so good.
For me, I didn't really do it as a standalone, a collection, or HD remaster. I just kind of, some of these were ones I wanted to see re-released or maybe cleaned up a little bit with one collection at the end. Do you guys remember Slave Zero from the Dreamcast? Which was an interesting, I know it's a mech game. Sorry, Steven.
Most of these kind of are.
I have a type. So Slave Zero was a really fun, like you're taking over this kind of interestingly designed giant robot as you're going through the city trying to escape. Had clunky controls for the time, but it was fun to play if you got used to it. I would love to see that come back with an updated control scheme and kind of fix the graphics a little bit. Just, I mean, Dreamcast is still not bad looking, but it could definitely be, cleaned up a little bit. The next one I'd like to see is an RPG. I one of the few RPGs I love actually playing, and I've played through multiple times, including on stream, and that's Secret of Evermore back on the Super Nintendo. I think that could do with one of those re-releases where they redo the graphics with like the HD 2D to kind of stick with that art style, because it does change between time areas when you're playing through it. What?
No, I can't. I don't want to do it again.
Dude, what?
I fucking hate that game so goddamn much. It's the worst game Square's ever made next to Mystic Quest. I'm sorry. Anyway, go on.
Well, once again, what Jeremy loves, Steven hates.
I said I didn't want to say it.
It doesn't even hurt at this point. It's become our
I don't know how you do
ongoing joke. I don't
know how you do it.
We get along so well, yet we hate and love different things so much.
The mech games are already like mostly like X'd out in my area, but you always pull one out of the woodwork, and I'm like, oh, where did he get that?
Chase and I think can stand and look proud that we got you not to only play Titanfall 2, but love it. We are proud we made it to that, I think. Right, Chase?
Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
The analogy I can think of is that Jeremy is like that dog that when I throw something out in the trash, he digs it up and brings it back. I'm like, where'd you get that? I thought I got rid of it. It stinks.
I love it.
And he's like, it's the best thing ever. I want to keep it.
Is it a partial third party in this, folks? They don't plan this.
We don't.
This is the best part of this whole thing. This isn't scripted in any way.
And we're really not even mad about it. It's just we laugh at the messed up irony of it.
It's just like when he's like a near and dear game to my heart, and I'm like, oh God.
Which Secret of Evermore is. I fucking love that game.
One of those games made by Square USA. Oh, God.
It's one of the few RPGs that I actually have played through beginning to end multiple times and enjoy it. Like, I love the story and the quirkiness and how it goes. And I would love to see that kind of come back with like a Mario RPG style remaster or an HD 2D if they want to just kind of keep that 2D art style but clean it up. And the last thing on my Steven hate list is I want to see brought back. You can just clean it up a little bit, but I want it as a collection, and that's Mech Assault series, Mech Assault 1, 2, and then even the DS Phantom War, which was a really fun game. They could kind of that would take the most work to remaster to bring back. But it's something I would enjoy. It's something my youngest son, John, would really enjoy. And something that Steven would hate with an utter passion. And I would have to buy him a copy and mail it to him. Because then you have to either choose to get rid of a game that's in your collection or add it to your list and know it's there.
I'll give it to Christian and say if he gets rid of it, I'm going to hide all his food.
Oh, man. Chase is right. We don't plan this shit. I didn't even think about that when I made my list. It's just really funny.
I just saw it. And I was like, oh no. I'm gonna bite my lip, and then you're like, what? I'm like, okay.
Like I said, it really doesn't bother me that like of how we don't like the same things for everything, because we can laugh about it. It's not one of those things where like you're snapping at me or calling me names or, thinking I'm stupid for liking something. You'll mock me in a funny way, which is
I know,
great. And we about kill Chase when he laughs so hard. But
it's just like, Secret of Evermore is like the U.S. version of the IT crowd or the U.S. version of Red Dwarf. It's like, why would you do that to us?
Jerry's just numb to the pain at this point.
We should have just called it Me and My Dog Go on a Stupid Adventure. My dog keeps changing shapes. Anyway.
It's an idiotic, loving dog and time travel with a kid who doesn't know what he's doing. Right? It's great. He becomes a flying toaster dog. It's great. Love that game. All right. Chase, what about you?
Save us, Chase.
Bring us home.
So on the whole Nintendo theme or whatever, I did pick F-Zero as one of them. Because I don't know if there is like a collection or anything that you can get.
There is not.
So I think something like, either like an HD remastered GX would be great, or just like, or a collection of some sort would be awesome.
Yeah, because there was one Japanese release we didn't get on GBA.
Yeah, that's true.
So add that in there.
So for the second one, this is quite an obscure. I would say this is probably an obscure game, but I really enjoyed it. Came out on the PS2 and the original Xbox.
I think I have this one.
And it's basically just it's basically just like a character action type game, but it's called Spartan Total Warrior. And it's really fun. It's just like kind of like a hack and slash, like you're fighting against, I think like the main enemy that you're fighting against is like Romans and stuff, but takes you through all these different levels, and it was really well done. I think it might actually
from Sega.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, because I think it was actually supposed to be. I could be wrong, but I think it's kind of tied with I think it's tied with Creative Assembly and the Total War stuff. Like, because I think what they were going to do was, because obviously Total War was like the strategy RTS games, and then Total Warrior, I think they were kind of thinking like, we'll do kind of like games set in different time periods, and they'll just be like these action games that we can do. But I don't think Spartan Total Warrior sold really well, so I don't think it ever got anywhere. But it's actually it's a really fun game that I've noticed actually even on like YouTube, people are all of a sudden like discovering it and putting videos up about it. So it'd be really cool if I'll
have to hunt it down.
Yeah, it's a fun game. And then for my last one, this is, I mean, I think most people have heard of this game, but it's a bit of an obscure one. And I'm pretty sure this was my favorite, RIP Pandemic Studios. I miss you guys. But Full Spectrum Warrior 1 and 2, you could just polish them up and give them to me as a collection, or you do like HDify them. I don't mind. They're actually quite unique games that I kind of miss, because they were all designed around, I mean, it's kind of a strategy game, but it's not really a third-person shooter, because you don't actually shoot. It's more like, it's all about like, because you get control of 2 4-man squads in the military, and you actually move them around, like strategically try to move them around, and you have to like, choose. So for instance, like there might be an enemy that's up in a building that's overlooking like a road that you need to cross. So like one team has to like do suppressive fire while the other team crosses, and then you have to like, and whatnot. And it probably could be tedious and boring for some people, but I actually thought it was quite fun. But it's because I like strategy games. I like that kind of stuff.
It kind of sounds like it reminds me of how Rainbow Six originally was. Like if you go back to like the N64 PlayStation versions, where you have to kind of plan things out, but maybe to a higher extent than that.
So this one was like,
it was just the original and 10 Hammers, right?
Yeah. So there was Full Spectrum Warrior, then there's Full Spectrum Warrior 10 Hammers. I don't think there was any other ones, but it's because like you didn't have like pre-planned routes, so to speak, but like it was kind of one of these things where like you had to move you had a 4-man squad, you know, you'd have like your machine gunner, you'd have somebody with like a M16 with a grenade launcher, you'd have just your normal rifleman, and everybody kind of had a role. And so like you'd utilize them for certain situations and try to like move people around to flank and do other things. It was quite, but it wasn't like one of those things where like it had this big zoomed out camera. You actually had like a third person camera and you had to work with what you could see. And it was you'd have to look up some video. I'm probably doing a terrible job explaining it, but
I just realized I must have gotten this when I picked up like collections from some people, but I have it on Xbox.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. One. So I can give it a try because I told you guys I was going to work on getting the Xbox going this weekend. So I'll give it a try and report back to you what I think.
The question is, Chase, would you rather have Night Dive do a collection, or would you rather Aspire do it?
I think there's only one proper answer to this.
He's not wrong.
Aspire will be like, we have hit new DLC. No, we don't. Sorry.
Yeah, I was. I'm good. I think. Although, to be fair, Aspire gave me my Soul Reaver remake, and they did good for that. But for some reason, they missed the boat.
Part of it.
I think they took the budgets from all the other remakes and put it into this one, and then everything else. Well, I take that back because I think Aspire did the Republic Commandos as well, and that one was all right.
That's what I was asking.
I say, don't worry, they screwed up Tomb Raider. With AI. Don't worry, they made up.
Somehow they did those two just fine. I don't know what teams they gave it to, but those two teams, that team's fine. Whoever did those.
Well, the funny thing is, Tomb Raider, it wasn't bad, and then they updated it and made it bad. Like they were like, oh no, we didn't mean to make a good game. Here, let's fuck this up remotely real quick. Our bad.
Right.
Just to piggyback on your thing for a second, because you reminded me with Full Spectrum Warrior. Did you ever play the Conflict series?
I love Conflict Desert Storm. Oh my god, all the Conflict
games I played all 4 of them, and they were always awesome, especially because
so good.
You
were they on the original
guy
Xbox?
Around at least.
Yeah, original Xbox.
I have
PS2.
I think it was from
the Conflict Desert Storm, Conflict Desert Storm 2, Back to Baghdad, Conflict Vietnam, and then Conflict Global Zone, which is probably the worst one because it's on 360.
Yeah.
So one of my old neighbors from years back, her teenage kid had a bunch of old games he was just getting rid of, and they were mostly like some like military shooters and stuff. That's where I got the other game from, Full Spectrum Warrior. But I also did get Conflict Desert Storm and Conflict Vietnam for that. I haven't played those yet. So it sounds like I should actually give those a try.
Yeah, they're good co-op titles. They're
can't co-op online anymore, sadly.
Yeah,
they've got split screen. They've got split screen too.
Okay, just got to find someone to be here to play it.
Because I think either Vietnam or 2 did up to 4 players split screen, and I was like, dang, okay.
Yeah, and now that I can scale it on a bigger TV, that might actually be doable.
Yeah, it's Conflict Desert Storm was a difficult game to play like by yourself. It was better co-op. It's one of those. It's like one of those Resident Evil 5, like Resident Evil 6 things where it's better with friends. But yeah, you have to tell me what you think, Jeremy, with Full Spectrum Warrior, because the gameplay is unique. So it's.
I'll give that a try this week and report back to you.
It's not very. I will warn you, it's not fast paced.
It was Global Terror, and that one was good. It was Conflict Denied Ops.
Oh yeah, that was ass.
They tried to make it like Army of 2. That was crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like military shooters, like I used to play some of the older Battlefields a lot. What was the one on 360? They did a lot of the was Battlefield Bad Company. I think those 2 were some of my favorites for playing with people as well. All right, well, we'll go ahead and wrap this interesting discussion up. So that, if you're watching this video and you want to hear the audio version of it, you can find our show wherever you actually look for podcasts by searching for Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. If you're listening to it and you want to watch Steven and I argue over mechs and other things, you can find us over at youtube.com/ZenspathCom. And I swear that is us laughing the whole time because it is shocking how much I love that he hates and vice versa. It's weird. But we still get along. It's okay. If you're listening to the podcast, feel free to leave us a review on whatever podcatcher you use. That helps us out a lot. Let us know over on our Discord about if you're giving us any reviews so we can find those. And you can find that Discord or wherever else over at zenspath.com. That has the links to the latest episodes or shorts, any of the like articles that I write or anyone else does, or other things that we work on over on the website. On the Discord, that's where we have pretty much all of our conversations. You can talk to all of us there, along with our small little community. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe. That helps us out and lets us know who's watching, as well as leave a comment. Let us know what are individual games or old IPs that you want to see brought back for a remake, or remaster or a collection this time around. All right. Well, this has been episode 219 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast, joined once again by Steven and Chase. I'm your host, Jeremy, and we're out. Peace.
Go to Google right now and Google do a barrel roll.
This has been a production of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast by the staff at zenspath.com. The show is created and edited by Jeremy Powers. You can find the video edition of the show on our YouTube channel at ZenspathCom. The audio edition is located wherever you find your podcasts. Links to all versions of the show, as well as to our Discord where you can talk with us directly, is located at www.zenspath.com. Please leave us a like, thumbs up, comment, and review where you can to help us grow.